When I tell you that I've seen mothers in their cars sleeping with their kids, I don't want to hear that shit. The shelters are booked. You call them for resources. They tell you, well, this is the only way to even get help by going through the shelter, but we're booked. Like, I don't want to hear that shit. I'm doing everything and it seems like I'm just getting the back end of the stick. And it's not even like it's just me. It's a lot of people going through this.
I'm broke and I live in my car. I have a full-time job at Jack in the Box and I just got off work. I'm really trying to get a studio, an apartment, something, but I only have $1,000 saved up and I can't find anything around that price.
I live in a storage unit because it's cheap in comparison to an apartment.
Yo, being homeless fucking sucks.
When basic shelter in what is considered to be a first world country becomes a luxury, we are deeply in trouble. Growing up, I remember everybody's dream was to own their first home. Like if you lived in a trailer park, people were like, ooh, not a flex. If you had a basic apartment, ooh, not a flex. But there's many people out there today that would love to have that. People are sleeping in their cars, in storage units. And we're not talking about single people. We're talking about whole families that have to live in storage units in order to be able to provide. Meanwhile, luxury high rises are like being built every day. Something as simple and essential as shelter should not feel out of reach for half of the country. I remember in 2019, the price of housing just skyrocketed. And I was like, whoa, I thought that at some point is going to come back down. We're just, hitting a surge. And then that whole thing happened. And I was like, okay, for sure, a lot of people were not working. Businesses had to close down. Surely the cost of living would go down. But actually, it had a reverse effect. It went up. It skyrocketed. But a lot of people's wages didn't go up. And now with so many changes in the legislative branch, a lot of help, a lot of funding for programs is being cut. So you have to get a job. And it's not that people don't want to work. It's that the jobs that are being offered are paying so little. I live in North Carolina. Believe it or not, there's still people here that make $8 and $9 an hour. Basic rent in North Carolina, the city where I live, is at least $1,000. Like that's minimum. That's cheap. And that's the lowest that you're going to find in North Carolina, about $1,050. We're not talking about how in LA, California, cheap rent is about $2,000. New York, cheap rent is about $3,500. We're at the point where housing is no longer a right. It's a privilege. It's a privilege to be able to have an apartment, a trailer home, anything. The cost of groceries have increased. A lot of people can't afford to feed themselves, let alone their family. And then you want to add shelter, which is a lot of people's biggest expense. We are to the point where people are paying 80 or 100% of their income for housing. And I used to be a real estate agent in the state of North Carolina. And I'm like, even I do not own a home. I could not even fathom buying a home due to the high interest rates. There was assessments being done where people were upside down on their mortgages. Taxes were out of the bazoo. When housing becomes unaffordable, it has an effect on the economy. It has an effect on people's mental health, living conditions for children being grown up in unstable environments, not having home, not having friends to go outside and play with. Like, we have to fix this some way, somehow. And most people, even now, they have a roof over their head. But if they were to lose their job, they are one paycheck away from being one of those people living out of their cars, living in a storage unit, trying to find somewhere to lay their head. And the shelters are full. The shelters And a lot of cities are full, so they can't even provide for women with children, men with families, like families all together. And most in my city, if you don't have a drug related issue, they're not trying to see you. Like Trosha, they provide housing for people who are in recovery. If you've never been on drugs, I don't drink, I don't do drugs. So people like me, it wouldn't even be an option. Is it time to admit that shelter has become the new luxury? Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. And if you have resources for people looking for housing, whatever city you're in, drop the resources in the comments below. My name is Daisha. Check me out next time.
I'm broke, I'm 18, and I live inside my small car. One of the questions I see a lot in my comment section is, where do I shower? Obviously, my car doesn't have a shower, but I do have a gym membership at Planet Fitness, and I have a black car, so I can go to any Planet Fitness. I do believe they're all over the US.